Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this SOILL-Stepup engagement event on sustainable soil management practices. I'm glad to welcoming you. This is the first thematic engagement event organized by SOILL-Stepup. And it's part of a series of events which is devoted to the prospective applicants addressing the topics under the Mission Soil, establishing the Mission Soil Living Labs. So since I see that still several people are joining us today, I would take some time of your time to let's look in the mirror and see who joined us today. So yesterday we had almost 160 registrants, and almost half of them were coming from research organizations. And a good number of the registrants have limited or no experience with the Living Lab. So these kind of events, I believe, are really useful for them to engage with peers and learn from each other. And another interesting information that we get is 42 registrants attended events organized by SOIL last year. So this means that there are plenty of registrants who are new to these kind of activities, and we are glad to host them. So before actually start the event, we would like to give you some notes about the GDPR-related issues. So consider that we are going to share not only the slides, but also the contact details of those who are willing to take part in the pitching session, and we are going to present later today their organization. We are going to take screenshots during this online event. So in case you would like not to be present in this screenshot, just send us an email to info@soil2030.eu. The same goes for the consent that you have given to the registration form, in case you have given consent to receive information from SOILL-Stepup for other initiatives and future events. Another thing is that this event is recorded, and that the recording of the event will be available on the event webpage as soon as possible. Some housekeeping rules. Please use your microphone with caution. Keep your mic off if you're not speaking. Use the chat to introduce yourself and ask questions and participate. And in case, you can also open the reaction panel and raise your hand in case you would like to pose your question live after each presentation or session. So the speakers of today's event are all of them coming from the SOILL-Stepup consortium. So Fernando Monroy, researcher at CREA, Nikolaos Toumasis from Cranfield University, Kinga Sepielak from Krakow Technology Park, and Giampiero Petruziello from Erin. So the agenda, the event is basically made up of four main parts. So in the first part, we are going to introduce SOIL, the mission, and projects. In the second part, we are going to delve into the details of the event by diving into the thematic session on sustainable soil management practices. In the third part, we are going to provide a general overview of the funding opportunities and the soil support services for the applicants. And the last part, the pitching session, where about 12 pitchers are going to present their organizations and their expertise. So without further ado, I would just mention that These are the uh, features which are listed for this event. So in case you have sent your presentation for the pitching session and you don't see yourself in this list, please send us a message in the chat, and we will check whether we received your presentation or not, and in case if we are able to include you in the very last part of the event. So now it's time to actually start the event. My name is Gabriele Quattrocchi. I work for Trust IT Services, which is the communication and dissemination partner in SOILL-Stepup, and I'm going to guide you through the event. The next speaker is Giampiero Petroziello, which is a policy and project manager at ERIN, which is the European Regions Research and Innovation Network. He is mainly working in the area of stakeholder engagement in research and innovation activities, and ERIN is actually a project partner of SOIL and leads the activities on knowledge sharing and stakeholder engagement. So I would leave you the floor, Giampiero, and everybody enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you, Gabriele, and good morning, everyone. Also from my side, welcome. In the next 10-15 minutes, I'm going to briefly introduce the mission SOIL. You might be familiar about the mission, but just some general consideration. And afterwards, I'm going to speak about the SOIL project that is supporting the 100 living labs in the mission SOIL. So what is the mission SOIL? This is one of the five Horizon Europe missions established by the European Union to deliver a concrete solution to major societal challenges by 2030. So one of them is the mission soil. Then we have the mission adaptation to climate change, the cancer mission, the climate neutral and smart cities, and the mission to restore our ocean and waters. When it comes to the soil mission, we start from the fact that 60% of European soils are unhealthy. So this is, let's say, the problem, the challenge, and of course, we all know here in this virtual room how soil is important and linked to other environmental services and our daily life, because of course soil is connected to food systems, it's connected to biodiversity, it contributes to climate resilience, and of course to provide for instance clean water. So soil is a kind of important to improve our lives and our services, and that's why this is one of the five European missions. In this slide, you can see a bit the main goal of the mission Soil, that is to establish this network of 100 living labs and lighthouses to lead the transition toward healthy soils across Europe. And in this slide, you can also see the specific objectives set by the missions. And these 100 living labs are contributing to some of these specific objectives. If we go to the next slide, we can see a bit of the timeline of the soil mission. Of course, the mission started some years ago, and with the first calls, with the first Horizon Europe calls, were established 25 mission soil living labs. With the second wave, other 20 living labs were established. So we are now in 2026, where other living labs will start. And now you here in the room are potential applicants for the 2026 calls to potentially establish further living labs and be in this network of 100 living labs who are supporting the missions. Um, if we go to the next slide, we can see a bit the already established living labs. For each projects, there are usually 4 to 5 living labs, and in the map you can see them divided by color depending on the project. And so you can see that these living labs are really widespread across Europe. And if you want to have more insights of these living labs, we also invite you to browse the soil catalog of living labs that you can also find it on the SOIL website to really learn more about what these living labs are doing. And of course, we hope that in the next wave you will be part of these living labs that are leading the transition towards earthy soil. And now, what is soil? Soil with 12. Soil. There is how it's connected with the living labs. So soil is one of the projects funded under the Horizon Europe soil mission, um, and is the projects who is supporting this network of the living labs. If if we go to the timeline, you can see that there was soil startup in the first 2 years. Now we are in the beginning of SOILL-Stepup, and in 2028 there will be soil scale up. This is all under the same framework partnership agreement. So this is the consortium who is basically supporting not only the living labs but also the applicants of the mission soil calls. In fact, if we go to the next slide, we can see a bit who are the target group. The main target group is, of course, the existing mission soil living labs, and we are empowering them by providing some training, some networking opportunities, visibility. But at the same time, we are also supporting the future applicants of the mission soil calls, you in this case, with a series of activities, and afterwards we will hear more in detail about this. But we are also trying to engage with the wider soil community. We know that there are also other living labs across Europe. There are not necessarily the mission soil living labs, but we know that there are other initiatives working on similar topics. So we are also trying to make connection with those, but also trying to make links, for instance, with other Horizon Europe projects, and not only under the mission soil. Maybe you are also part of one of those. So we are also trying to make links in order to really support this transition more organically. When it comes to the next slide, you can really see a bit what soil offer. It's about coordination and support. There are different projects with different living labs, so we are really trying to provide them platform and to really coordinate this work, to give information, and to really support this peer learning exchange. We are also supporting these living labs with training and capacity building. Of course, the living labs, since the establishment to the different phases of the living labs, there are different steps. So we are also trying to understand how to support them in all the learning journey. We also support them by promoting their activities. You can find on the website, for instance, the Living Lab catalog, giving them visibilities, but also awards. And also, we organize several events where we try to engage them and support this peer learning. Of course, Living Labs is about delivering solutions, testing them, implementing them. So also this monitoring of this progress is also very important. So we are also trying support them with a harmonized framework to guide and to monitor their progresses, and also to then have some recommendation to inform policymakers and support this sustainability aspect of the Living Labs. As I mentioned before, we also provide several opportunities where these living labs come together, both online and in person, to exchange and to really learn from each other. And on the Soil website, you can also find the Soil Hub. This is really a place where you can also access, and we warmly encourage to really network with the other living labs, but also to find some useful knowledge that the living labs are producing that can also support you in these activities. And in fact, if we go to the next slides, we can also see are some of the resources available for applicants. Of course, this is one of the activities that we are doing, but we also organized several ones in the past, and we are going to organize some other activities. But this is a continuous effort that we are doing, and we also invite you to go on the Soil Hub and access the soil knowledge repository, where you can also find useful resources. Once again, I'm very happy that you are here today, and we really hope that we can help in this pathway. Afterwards, my colleague Kinga will really provide a more in-depth overview of what is the support available for applicants, but I hope that this brief overview was useful to set a bit the scene of this event. And of course, I'm available for any question if you have. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Giampiero. It actually lays the groundwork for what it comes next, not just in terms of thematic session, but as you mentioned, our colleague, Soil colleague, King, is going to go into the details of what Soil can offer to the applicants, especially. I believe that there is at least one question in the chat, and maybe Nicole can help you address it. I would go on to the thematic session now. So the next speaker is Fernando Monroy, which is going to launch this second part of the event. So Fernando is a researcher at the Italian Council for Agricultural Research and Economics, and he's specialized in plant soil and plant parasite interactions with a background in nature conservation and soil biodiversity. And as I mentioned at the beginning, CREA is one of the partners in SOILL-Stepup. So he's involved in the engagement activities, soil education, monitoring, and evaluation of the mission soil living labs. I would leave the floor to you, Fernando, in order to start this part on the sustainable practices for soil regeneration.
Okay, thank you, Gabriele. Welcome, everybody. Today I'm talking about sustainable practices for soil regeneration. This is part of the thematic session, but because this is an engagement event, don't expect a too technical presentation, but rather a presentation mentioning the main aspects of soil regeneration that can be important for you to know to prepare your proposal and to help you to contact all the people that you can feel necessary to complete your background for a successful proposal where soil regeneration is an important aspect. So the first thing is just to somehow define what is soil regeneration, which is soil regeneration is the group of practices that you can use to restore physical, chemical, and biological properties of soil, which are very important to keep biodiversity and to have a productive agriculture. So basically, the main goals of these regeneration practices are just to get some healthy soils to support food security and water purification, carbon storage, and ecosystem stability. Basically, a set of ecosystem services that defines the health of your soil. How the soil monitoring law supports soil regeneration practices. So basically, Giampiero before mentioned the soil mission and the soil monitoring law. And basically, your regeneration practices, the ones that you want to apply in your project, will be supported basically by the soil monitoring law because the soil monitoring law promotes the monitoring of the soil health using indicators that can be applied at the European Union-wide level. It provides also support through training and advice to farmers and land managers, but also to researchers or to consortium of companies, even civil society. So all the stakeholders that are interested in soil health and soil regeneration. It sets some national soil health targets to guide improvements of the regeneration practices. It defines which sites or which soils are the ones more convenient for apply soil regeneration practices and spreads the knowledge on soil quality, on soil health, basically through soil literacy activities. And of course, at the policy level, encourage the reducing sealing and land take. So just to keep the amount of agricultural or forestry or semi-natural land that is available for soil activities. I see some red in my presentation. I don't know what is this. It's okay. So basically, what are the main soil health threats? What are the main causes of soil degradation?
I'm sorry, Fernando. I don't know what happened. Just give me a second so I can reshare my screen again.
Yes, no problem.
Can you see it again?
Yes.
Thanks.
So we can go to the next slide. Okay, so we were talking about the major causes of soil degradation, which include basically, and these are really measured, assessed, the cost of soil degradation at the European Union level. Soil erosion, main one, likely. The loss of organic matter and pollution and salinization and compaction and sealing, soil sealing, which is also an emerging and difficult to control problem at the European level because it doesn't depend on good practices, but depends mostly on policies. No? So it is difficult to address, and it is difficult to control. As Gianpiero mentioned before, There's a very large percentage of soils in the European Union that can be considered unhealthy, so subjected to degradation, which poses a very big problem, big management problem. Of course, all these problems impact on the ability of the soil system to provide some basic ecosystem services. And some of them are very, very important, like the ability to filter water and nutrient cycling, or basic ones, the ability to produce crops. So regarding the fertility of soil. So this is the very real reason to go for regenerative practices to restore the quality and the productivity of soils. Next slide. We talk about regeneration practices, and in the context of this project, basically what is proposed is just to apply to test these regeneration practices in the context of soil health living labs. So the idea of a network of stakeholders in a specific area of the geographical point of view of the European Union that address the problems of the soils in this area from a diverse point of view, this is very, very important. It's completely different from other approaches regarding or involving soil regeneration. Inside the soil health living labs, you can find some specific sites which are considered like a high-level sites from the point of view of the examples they provide to show the effect of good management practices. So this is also a very important point when we consider soil regeneration, is just to choose the right practices and to show that the right practices work. This is an important aspect of living labs as well. Of course, the interaction between different stakeholders accelerates the adoption of these good practices, and the bottom-up approach of the living labs, so the ability to hear the needs of the basic stakeholders involved, like farmers and civil society, guarantees that these policies or these activities will have a follow-up. So next slide. Which soils are the ones that you should choose to regenerate? Seems a bit simple, but it's not that. Just to choose the soil, to define the problem in the context of the soil monitoring law. Basically, you have now a set of indicators which are being standardized in order to be able to measure the importance of this degradation, in the soils of your areas, and to compare this degradation or the impact of this degradation with other areas. And this is a very important aspect that you should consider in your proposals, or when you're looking for partners, or when you are looking for other sites, just to know that there is some standardization in the way that you measure soil degradation. And the indicators that you use can be compared with the indicators have been used to measure all the soils across the European Union level, thanks to the ability to integrate with databases, very complete databases that already exist. As I mentioned before, the main metrics that are tracked regarding soil health are erosion, organic carbon, contamination, compaction, seeding, and biodiversity. Next slide. If we go to more to the specific aspects of soil degradation, the ones that matters for soil regeneration, we can start with erosion prevention, which is very important because it's one of the most impactful processes on soil quality, because it's basically the loss of the soil. So this is very important. Of course, is the legislation, the European Union legislation pays special attention to this process. And to be more specific, it is encouraged to rely on practices like contour farming or terracing or agroforestry. So let's say integrating trees with other crops, so to improve spatial diversity, and maintaining vegetation as the most important practices that help erosion, that prevents erosion and that preserves soil health. Some of these practices can be used, like for example, terracing or agroforestry practices, is to regenerate those soils. It's just not only matter of prevention, but also matter of regeneration. And an important point that you should consider is that the use of these indicators and the right regeneration practices are important to deal with erosion in different climates and different landscapes. This is very important to consider. Sometimes in your living lab or the living lab that you want to create, you will have sites that are spread or placed in different locations. You have sites that cover agricultural land or semi-natural land or forestry. So it is important to take into account that regeneration practices or in general practices to prevent erosion are not the same for these different landscapes. And this is an important point when you have to choose or to complete your consortium, or when you have to program your activities or present the activities that you want to carry out. So next slide. If we talk about organic carbon conservation, and here I talk about conservation, I would say conservation and regeneration at the same time, right? Like some of the practices can be used for conserve, to preserve, or to regenerate when they are carried out. So organic carbon, again, I don't have to explain you probably. It's very important because it's directly related with soil fertility and also related with soil biodiversity. And erosion, one of the processes, the process that we talked about before, is one of the main factors that affects organic carbon. Other factors are climate change, so changes in temperature, or also the use of mineral fertilizers, for example, which reduce the input of organic matter into soils, and in the long time depletes the amount of organic carbon. And if we mention the sustainable soil practice that can help the regeneration of the organic carbon stock piles in the soil, we should mention cover cropping, or the application of compost, reduce tillage, because in this case can prevent either erosion and the removal of organic carbon from the field, and agroecology practices in general in order to improve the amount of soil carbon. When I talk about agroecology practices, as I did before regarding agroforestry practice, I mean a group of activities that ranges from crop diversification to organic fertilization, biological pest control, etc. So basically, agroecology practices are practices that are farming methods, let's say, that work with ecological processes instead of relying heavily on external inputs. This is an important point. Next slide, please. So we talked about erosion and organic carbon, and now we talk about soil biodiversity. Also very important to keep some of the basic functions of the soil systems. One of the most important one is nutrient cycling, because soil organisms are responsible of organic matter decomposition, basically. And then some other ecosystem services, like, for example, pest control and nutrient cycling. Regarding sustainable soil practices that help to regenerate soil biodiversity, you can focus on organic farming or crop rotation. Also, the reduction of chemicals, and in this case, I mean the reduction basically of pesticides, which can have a direct negative effect on soil biodiversity, and also the creation of habitat refuges to promote soil biodiversity. In this case, I mean, for example, increasing spatial diversity or diversifying crops in a way that helps or that supports different, let's say, soil communities, different groups of soil organisms. And again, soil biodiversity, because it's very, very dynamic, we are now dealing really with living organisms, is a very important aspect of soil regeneration when you consider to apply different regeneration practices, because it helps, it promotes soil resilience. So it is the ability to react to a negative impact. So the ability to the soil to keep its characteristics in response, for example, climate changes or pollution, or something like that. Okay, next slide. Talking about pollution. So this is maybe the most difficult aspect of soil regeneration, because pollution sometimes compromises the soil quality in the very long term. So of course, the best practice, the best approach is just to reduce potential pollution, reducing chemical use, but then applying some regeneration practices like phytoremediation, or the addition of organic matter through, for example, circular waste management, which is very interesting, because you prevent a potential source of contamination in your soil, and on the other side, you promote soil quality at the same time. So this is a very important regeneration practice. What next is that? Okay, we were talking about impacts direct impacts into the soil, but of course the soil is some matrix that you can take care of course. So the structure of the soil is an important aspect when you talk about soil regeneration, and the importance of keeping the structure of your soil or to improve the structure of the soil is very important for some processes related, for example, water retention or aeration of your soil, which helps roots to develop, which helps soil biodiversity to perform its function in the soil. So important practices for soil, for the regeneration of soil structure, just to avoid compaction, minimizing tillage, for example, or increasing soil structure heterogeneity using different types of crops or using plants that have roots that go deeper in order to avoid deep compaction. And of course, in general, avoid heavy machinery when possible to prevent the negative effects of soil compaction. Next slide. Um, Regarding also soil structure, somehow, because this is not directly related with soil, but with something that happens on top of the soil. Soil sealing is one of the big problems mentioned before. And of course, the regeneration practices dealing with soil sealing are very complex because the tendency, the trend now um, is just to use soil for urban or industrial activities or infrastructural activities. So it's very difficult to get some soil back, but there are some regeneration practices that try to minimize the impact of this increasing soil sealing, which, for example, the creation of green infrastructure in sealed areas, so just reduce the percentage of soil that is sealed, uh, promoting the creation of some uh, so-called green infrastructures that can be, for example, green corridors, but can be also ornamental gardens, can be also, in some cases, urban horticultural areas, and so on. So you have a set of methods like the use of permeable pavements or a kind of extreme regeneration practice will just to change some policies, just to, in this case, um, promote the reuse of urban soil for other activities. Okay, next slide. So we were mentioning the main factors affecting soil quality and some of the main practices as keywords that you should keep in mind when you talk about soil regeneration. So just keep in mind that the challenges regarding soil degradation are very, very important, but fortunately, there are some policy and innovation frameworks that start to work in a very significant way to prevent or in some case to reverse this negative impact of the soil. The regenerative agricultural practices are very important in your project, so very important. So it's not only preserving but also regenerating soils, important aspect. And that these practices depend on your intervention areas. They are different in different. They are different in. They are diverse in different areas. You should take account of this, and that stakeholder involvement. Stakeholder involvement is a very important aspect to control or to improve your ability to regenerate soils in different contexts. So thanks for your attention, and if you have any question.
Thanks, Fernando. I believe that the red wire connecting all these practices is awareness now, which is also has been translated recently, as you mentioned several times, in new legislative instruments, which are part of a regulatory framework that I believe the next speaker is going to dig deeper into it, especially on the soil monitoring law. So I would hand over to Dr. Nikolaos Tomasis. He's an environmental scientist specializing in soil health, ecological resilience, and erosion dynamics across UK and European landscape. He contributes to the work that the Cranfield University has been carrying out in SOILL-Stepup. So without further ado, I would say over to you, Nikolaos.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Gabriele. Hello everyone. Our aim today is to guide you through the measuring, monitoring, and managing healthy soils, ensuring that each of you feels confident in understanding both the scientific foundations and also the policy expectations that shape our collective work. I'll start. To begin, let me situate today's meeting within its broader policy context, as perfectly described by my colleague Fernando. Soil monitoring is fundamental to the mission soil ambition because it provides the evidence base that allows us to understand whether our interventions are truly strengthening soil functions and delivering societal value. When we speak about continuous support for growth, we refer to the ability of Living Labs and Lighthouses to evolve innovation-driven ecosystems. Monitoring also enables us to identify where targeted support is needed, whether in technical capacity, regarding the stakeholder engagement or management practices, so that these sites can progress along a long-term development trajectory. A second dimension is visibility. By systematically assessing performance, we can highlight exemplary living labs and lighthouses that demonstrate outstanding progress in soil health improvement. And these front runners become reference models for replication, peer learning, and policy uptake. And in a European context, this visibility is essential for scaling innovation across regions with very different biophysical and socioeconomic conditions, of course. Finally, soil monitoring ensures alignment with mission soil criteria and the broader European Union policy landscape. It allows us to maintain coherence across a diverse network of experimental sites and to ensure that all actors contribute meaningfully to the shared objective of achieving healthy soils by 2050. So monitoring is therefore not an administrative exercise. It is a strategic instrument that safeguards quality, comparability, and accountability also across Europe's soil innovation ecosystem. Next slide, please. So, the European Union has established a comprehensive and increasingly coherent policy framework that positions soil health as a cornerstone of environmental resilience for the food security and climate neutrality. The European Union Soil Strategy for 2030 sets the long-term vision of achieving healthy soils by 2050, and it's complemented by sectoral instruments such as the Common Agricultural Policy, the carbon removals and carbon farming regulation, and the nature restoration law also. Together, these policies create a multi-layered architecture that supports sustainable land management. And the mission soil plays a unique role within this architecture because it acts as a catalyst for innovation, for a demonstration and citizen engagement, translating high-level policy objectives into tangible actions on the ground. The mission also contributes directly to other strategic priorities, such as the water resilience strategy by enhancing soil's capacity to retain water and buffer extreme events. Moreover, the forthcoming Soil Monitoring and Resilience Directive represents a major milestone. This directive will establish harmonized monitoring obligations across member states, ensuring that soil health becomes a measurable and enforceable environmental priority. In this sense, the European framework is not static. It is evolving, and Mission Soil is shaping that evolution through evidence, through experimentation, and stakeholder also mobilization. Next slide, please. Here it's the soil monitoring law, which represents a major step forward in Europe's commitment to restoring and safeguarding soil health. It is not simply another environmental directive, it is a structural shift in how we understand, measure, and manage soils across the Union. And this law provides the backbone for harmonized monitoring, ensuring that data collected in one region is comparable and meaningful across all the member states. And the soil monitoring law entered into force in December 2025, establishing a coherent legal framework to achieve healthy soils by 2050, as we said, and it sets out clear obligations for member states, including the identifications of potentially contaminated sites and the establishment of national monitoring systems. Crucially, the soil monitoring law makes sustainable soil management the norm across the European Union. It does so by defining what must be monitored, how data should be collected, and how results must be reported. And this creates a shared language and a shared responsibility, ensuring that soil health becomes a measurable, actionable, and enforceable priority. Next slide, please. To monitor the soil health effectively, we must first understand the concepts that underpin it. Soil health, soil quality, and soil functions are related but distinct ideas, each contributing to how we interpret soil condition. So we also need the clarity on reference values, threshold values, and target values, because monitoring is only meaningful when we know what good looks like, what is acceptable, and what requires intervention. Finally, we must recognize that all soils perform multiple functions, but not all soils perform them equally. Landscape variability is natural, and our monitoring systems must be sensitive to this complexity. Next slide, please. So here, this slide helps us distinguish between soil health and soil quality, terms that are often used interchangeably but have different implications. Soil quality traditionally refers to the capacity of soil to function within natural or managed ecosystems. And soil health, however, places stronger emphasis on resilience, on biological integrity, and long-term sustainability. And by understanding this distinction is essential, because the soil monitoring law is built around the concept of soil health, which is broader, more dynamic, and more aligned with the European Union's long-term environmental objectives. For example, sustainable land use like agroforestry or conservation farming increases ecosystem services by protecting soil, by water diversity, and carbon storage. But unsustainable land use, such as deforestation, overgrazing, reduces ecosystem services by degrading soil, by polluting water, and destroying habitats. Let's go to next slide, please. And one of the challenges we can see here we face is that soil health is highly context dependent. What constitutes a healthy soil in a Mediterranean vineyard is not the same, for example, as in the northern peatland, because climate, management, and soil type all influence what is realistic and desirable. At present, we don't have a fully validated assessment system that captures this level of specificity, Instead, we work with an approach that guides member states towards establishing target values that are locally meaningful while still aligned with EU-wide objectives. This is a pragmatic and scientifically grounded way to advance the soil protection while acknowledging regional diversity also. Next slide, please. So here we have the core categories of soil health indicators. To assess soil health, we rely on 5 core categories of indicators: the organic matter, the physical, chemical, biological, and visual. These categories provide an holistic view of soil condition, and capturing everything from structure and nutrient status to biodiversity and observable degradation. So we have visual indicators which simply field observations like color, structure, crusting, and erosion signs, and some quick clues about the soil condition. The organic matter, which measures carbon-rich material from plants and microbes and improves fertility, structure, and water movement. The physical indicators assess structure, compaction, porosity, and also the water movement, and they show how well soil supports roots and resists erosion. We have the chemical also indicators, which include pH, nutrients, salinity, and contaminants, and determine activity, determine microbial activity, biodiversity, and respiration, and they reflect the soil's living process and nutrient cycling. These categories form the scientific foundation upon which the soil monitoring law builds its operational indicators. And they remind us that soil health is multidimensional and cannot be reduced to a single metric. Next slide, please. So here we see how the directive translates scientific categories into operational indicators. The soil monitoring law defines a structure set of indicators at 3 levels: the union level indicators, the member state indicators, and the general descriptors, with soil sealing addressed separately. The indicators cover the full spectrum of soil degradation processes, erosion by water, wind, harvest, and tillage, some nutrient imbalances such as nitrogen surplus, phosphorus deficiency, maybe contamination by heavy metals, compaction, salinization, loss of organic carbon, all the threats to soil biodiversity also. And each indicator is linked to specific criteria for determining whether a soil is in healthy or unhealthy state. Also, these indicators provide the measurable elements needed to assess soil condition consistently across Europe, and they also offer a basis for local action, helping practitioners identify risks, track improvements, and design interventions that are both scientifically robust and policy relevant. Next slide, please. We have here the European Union Soil Observatory, with other words, the Joint Research Center, which plays a central role in supporting the implementation of the soil monitoring law. It acts as the knowledge hub for soil data, methodologies also, and reporting, ensuring, of course, that the Commission and the wider soil community have access to reliable, harmonized information. And USO brings together a diverse set of stakeholders, from member state authorities and researchers to farmers, to non-governmental organizations, and also citizens. And this reflects the reality that soil health is not the responsibility of a single sector, but a shared societal endeavor. By placing soil also at the heart of the European Green Deal, also USO reinforces the message that healthy soils are essential for climate resilience, for biodiversity, for food security, and long-term sustainability. And we have also the out data when the Living Lab contributes, for example, the real-world measurements and observations that reflect local soil conditions, some management practices, and innovation outcomes. And we have also the in data, where the Living Lab applies the harmonized methodologies and indicator frameworks provided by the soil monitoring law. And this assures that the data generated locally is not only scientifically valid, but also directly comparable with data from other regions, from the member states. So here we have this slide which brings together the policy framework and the practical implementation within the soil project. The monitoring and evaluation indicator are derived directly from the soil monitoring law and aligned with the mission soil objectives. And this assures that the data generated is not only scientifically sound, but also policy relevant. And it contributes also to national monitoring systems, supports European Union reporting obligations, and strengthens the evidence base for soil-related decision making. And in this way, the Living Labs and Lighthouses also serve as both innovation environments and data providers, helping bridge the gap between policy ambition and on-the-ground reality. Next slide, please. So here, for the experimental sites, we have these slides to contribute meaningful to the mission soil objectives. They must operate with a clear strategic orientation. This means articulating a long-term vision that integrates scientific ambition, stakeholder needs, and regional development priorities. And the emphasis on organizational robustness and financial availability reflects the European Union's expectation that these sites evolve into sustainable innovation ecosystems capable of delivering impact beyond project cycles. And from a soil science perspective, the strategic orientation must address the three pillars of soil health, which are the physical, chemical, and biological characteristics, because improving physical priorities such as aggregate stability, for example, infiltration or water storage, enhances resilience to climate extremes. Also, strengthening chemical characteristics ensures nutrient availability and reduces losses to water bodies. Enhancing also biological characteristics supports microbial activity, mycorrhizal networks, and overall ecosystem functioning. Experimental sites, therefore, serve as living infrastructures where integrated soil management strategies can be tested, can be demonstrated and refined, and their strategic planning should explicitly show how these activities contribute to the mission's overarching goal of restoring soil health across Europe. In this way, they become not only research platforms, but also engines of territorial innovation and community engagement. Next slide, please. So, the impact here, monitoring and the scale up, the impact generation is at the heart of the mission soil approach because experimental sites are expected not only to test innovative soil management solutions, but also to demonstrate them in real world conditions and disseminate them to diverse stakeholder groups. And this includes farmers, some advisors, maybe local authorities, and the wider public. And by producing open knowledge materials and contributing to soil literacy, Living Labs and Lighthouses help build a societal mandate for soil protection. Monitoring practices are essential for assessing whether these activities translate into measurable improvements. And this includes internal self-monitoring, the use of appropriate soil health indicators, and the evaluation of stakeholder satisfaction. Moreover, monitoring is therefore both technical and social, capturing changes in soil condition, as well as changes in maybe knowledge or behavior and capacity. The scale-up potential is also a defining feature of the mission. The solutions tested in Living Labs and Lighthouses must be transferable, adaptable, and aligned with the European soil health strategies. And this ensures that local innovations can contribute to system change at a continental scale. In this sense, each site acts as a node in a wider European network, collectively driving the transition towards sustainable soil management. Next slide, please. Here we have a conclusion slide. And advancing the soil health assessment requires a shift from fragmented measurements to integrated long-term monitoring systems. Soil health is influenced by biophysical processes, some socioeconomic drivers, and land use dynamics, and therefore requires a multidimensional approach. Moreover, some harmonized protocols across sites are essential for comparability and for building a coherent European Union-wide evidence base. And SOIL emphasizes the importance of continuous monitoring to capture long-term trends, climate impacts, and the outcomes of management interventions. Digital tools, also remote sensing and farmer-generated data, are emerging as powerful enablers of scalable monitoring frameworks. And these technologies allow us to move from episodic sampling to dynamic data-rich systems that support adaptive management. So finally, the capacity building is equally important because demonstration activities, training and knowledge exchange ensure that soil-friendly practices are understood, are adopted and maintained, and the network established through the project create the social infrastructure which is needed to sustain improvements beyond the project's lifetime. And in this way, soil contributes not only to scientific advancement, but also to a long-term behavioral and institutional change. I'll now thank you very much, and I'll invite my colleague Gabriele to take the floor and present the next agenda point. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Nikolaos. I believe that you really dug deeper into what is needed also for the prospective applicants to keep an eye on the monitoring system and also on how to assess soil health within the current regulatory framework. And so this is the end of the thematic session of the event. I believe that it is now time for a well-deserved stand up and stretch break. So we had in mind to have a 10-minute coffee break at this point from 11 to 11:10 Central European Time, so 10 minutes. But since we are a little bit behind schedule, I would like you to ask to convene again at 11:15, so in about 5 minutes. The next part of the event is on the funding opportunities. It will give a brief overview of all the soil services for the applicants. And after that, we are going to listen to the presentations from the pitchers. So this second part of the event will be really interesting, and I really like that you are interacting so much in the chat. No worries, we are taking care of all your questions. You will receive an answer in a written form in the chat or live after the next speaker. Thanks a lot. See you in 5 minutes. Hello again. Welcome back. I believe that we are almost ready to start again. I see that most of you are turning the camera on again, so I believe that we are ready to start. So I would now hand over to our soil colleague, Kinga Sepielak. She's working for the Krakow Technological Park, which is one of the partners in SOILL-Stepup. She's a project specialist, and she's working especially in soil in the task devoted to provide service to the applicants in terms of organization of events such as webinars. One of these webinars happened actually a couple of weeks ago on the 2nd of March, and I believe that she is going to mention it because there are useful resources that you can also use for the proposal you are preparing. So over to you, Kinga.
Okay, thank you so much, and hello everyone. Today I will very briefly introduce the available funding opportunities, and I will focus on the soil support services and activities that are dedicated to future applicants to help them better prepare their proposals. On this slide, you can see the new funding opportunities under the mission A Soil Deal for Europe within the Horizon Europe Work Programme 2026. And the European Commission has launched 2 new topics that support the establishment of soil health living labs across the Europe. And this calls aims to further expand the network of living labs and strengthen collaboration between the researchers, land managers, and all the stakeholders. And one topic focuses on managed forest and natural and semi-natural lands, while the second one targets on the Alpine and Atlantic biogeographical regions. And the call opened on the 12th of February this year and follows a 2-stage application process with the first deadline in April and the second stage in September. And the next slides, please. And besides the 2 calls that are already open, and I mentioned, there will also be additional funding opportunities coming in 2027. I just want to briefly highlight them so that you are aware there are more possibilities will be available in the near future. 2 of the topics will also follow a 2-stage application process. One will focus on the continental, Black Sea, Panion, and Steppe biogeographical regions, while the other will support living labs working on co-creation solutions to reduce eutrophication from agriculture. In addition, there will also be a single stage topic focuses on monitoring and mitigation carcinogenic substances in soils and assessing their potential impacts on human cancer risk. All of these calls are expected to open in February 2027 with deadlines later in the year. So if you are not planning to apply this year, it's definitely worth to keep these upcoming opportunities in mind. And now I would like to move on the support that SOIL offers to future applicants. So SOIL offers a wide range of support services to future applicants who are interested in preparing proposals for the mission SOIL calls. And these services, as you can see, for example, include the access to experienced mentors or dedicated webinars, also help desk, and in addition, SOIL provides a matchmaking platform and collection of useful resources. And we go with the next slide, please. Okay, and as you can see, one of the key services offered by SOIL is access to a network of national mentors. These are experts who can provide you a tailored guidance and to preparing the proposals. What is very important, the discussion with the mentors are confidential. So this means that applicants can safely share their ideas and potential partnerships with them. And mentors are available in many European countries, and they can support applicants in their national language. and it's going to make the process more accessible and easier also to navigate. And you can find the list of the mentors on our SOIL webpage, and also you can scan the QR code on the slide. And our friend also put the link to the direct mentor section on our webpage on the chat in the meeting. And we continue with the next slide, please. Okay, and as was mentioned in the beginning, we also provide a series of dedicated webinars designed to support future applicants in preparing the proposals for the mission SOIL calls. And we already have a plan for the whole webinar session, and the first one already took place on the 2nd of March. And during this webinar, participants receive an overview of the mission SOIL, including its vision, objectives, also the funding opportunities, and all experts provide the practical guidance. They show the differences between the two-stage process and full application process. They shared the tips on how to avoid common mistakes when preparing the submissions. And speakers include the representatives from the European Commission, from DG Agri, and from the Research Executive Agency. And also the SOIL consortium expert contributed to the session. And more webinars are planned for coming months. So if you want to stay informed about upcoming events, I encourage you to subscribe to the SOIL newsletter. You can scan the QR code, or you can follow the link from the chat. And also, if you are interested in the topic of the recording on the last webinar, the recording is already available on our page, so you can easily access it as well. And next slide, please. Also, the SOIL provide the B2Match platform, which helps connect with stakeholders across the Europe who are interested in the SOIL health. Also, you can find the partners from the public sector, research organization, companies, and citizen groups already all are ready to collaborate on innovative projects. And also the platform allows you to schedule online meetings, and it makes more easy to discuss the ideas, and it supports you with finding the potential partnerships for your proposals. And we also provide you all the relevant information and link in the chat. And next one. Okay, SOIL provides also different type of resources to support applicants. They are guidelines and recommendations designed to strengthen the application. You can exactly know what the evaluators are looking for. We provide templates or examples and best practices from already existing SOIL Health Living Labs and Lighthouses. This also can help you to see what already has worked before and how to structure your own project. And also you can find the fact sheets summarizing key findings, topics, and land use types, which give you a clear overview of the focus area and requirements. And finally, SOIL offers also a pathway for a competitive proposal, guiding you step by step to make your application as strong as possible. And next one. Okay, I would like to also introduce to you the SOIL Help Desk. It's a central support service available to all SOIL stakeholders. So if you have any specific question, you can easily access the help desk directly from our SOIL webpage. You need to be logged in, or you can log into the SOIL Hub. And like with this, I would like to go directly to the next slide. because my colleague in the first presentation already mentioned your Soil Hub, I would like to show you also a short instruction how to join it. So you have to visit our webpage. You can create an account, and the process of registration is very easy. We need only the basic details from you, and you will receive a PIN code, and you are already registered, and you can log in, and you can complete your profile and also explore the platform. You can join the groups, or you can have an overview of upcoming events, and also you can use the help desk and ask any question related to your proposal or in the topic that it's interesting for you. And next one. Okay, and before I finish my presentation, I would like to highlight very important thing, because everything we've discussed today regarding the SOIL's activities and the offer is directly relevant to the all stakeholders preparing the proposals. Both Mission SOIL Living Labs topics mention in the description the need to collaborate with SOIL. As you can see on the slide, applicants are expected to dedicate the resources to this collaboration, not only during the project implementation, but also when they're preparing the proposals. And there are two different types of costs to be considered in your proposal for participating in SOIL activities. It's personal costs and travel. And next slide, it's not working. Okay, yes, we have it. So on the slide, you can see all the online activities that you should consider where you are preparing your proposal, and also with the time allocation and personal budget to attend them. For example, they are thematic trainings or the engagement events, and this is also onboarding. The two of them, they are mandatory. This is monitoring evaluation, and also it's mandatory to update the Living Lab profile on the SOIL Hub. And the next one. And here you have the brief overview of the activities that you have to consider to attend in person, and also allocate the budget for traveling expenses. And we organize an annual engagement event, and also boot camp training, site visit, and knowledge exchange session. All this information were in detail explained in our last webinar. So one more time, I encourage you to review it and watch the video. And this is all from my side. So thank you so much. And I hand over to Gabriele.
Thanks, Kinga. Thanks a lot. I believe that it was really comprehensive, and sorry again for this inconvenience of this trouble over here. I will stop the sharing and start it again. Okay. I hope that you can see my screen. I don't know if there are any questions for Kinga or other colleagues. I believe that most, if not all, the questions that were posed in the chat were addressed. But if you think that there are, if you have any other questions, feel free to raise your hand, and we will try to address them. So Armando has his hand raised. So Armando, feel free to unmute yourself and speak up.
Thank you so much. Good morning to everyone. I just have a question. Maybe it's already a given, but with your platform for matchmaking, I have the intention of becoming a lighthouse. So I could find perhaps a living lab that I can work with, or maybe they can find me in some way, because I just acquired land and I would like to start doing some regenerative practices there from a place that is very degraded.
Maybe I can take this one, and if anyone wants to complement, can jump in. So, if you are referring to probably you're referring to the Soil Hub more than the matchmaking platform, because the matchmaking platform is more designed for the applicants who wants to build up a new consortium addressing one of the mission soil topics, funding the living labs. While in the Soil Hub has been designed as a virtual place where different categories of stakeholders can interact with each other, where it is possible to find the Living Lab members and representatives, and where it is also possible to interact with peers on specific thematic areas in the group part of the Soil Hub. There are several functionalities to interact with others. So I believe that to answer your question, I believe that the Soil Hub is the place to be in case you want to interact with other with the Soil Hub, not just all the Soil Hub members, but the Living Lab members as well. I don't know if anybody else wants to complement this answer. Nikolaus.
Yes, we can say that the Soil Hub generally provides some monitoring tools, and also inside there's some self-assessment platforms, and some documents for guidance, but also all of that is under the knowledge exchange infrastructure. So the Soil Hub generally supports the transparency and traceability and network-wide learning. So all that for me. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Nikolaus. I hope that we answered your question, Armando.
Yes, that was helpful. Thank you.
So, is there any other question before we move to the next part of the event?
Hi. Hello there. I
Hi.
just put a question in the messages. I hope see it, but I can just say it here. Thanks for the presentations, by the way. I was wondering if the applications for these rounds of becoming a soil lab, do they come in very specific topics? Because if I get it right, then it means that if you are not working in eutrophication or in Black Sea, then we have to wait until the topics that we work on comes maybe in 2047. Like how is that working in that sense?
Kinga, would you like to take that one, or maybe I can go first?
Yeah, you can go first. We
Okay.
just presented the topics that we already know, and they are launched by European Commission.
Yeah, maybe what I can say here is that over the years, since this is not the first round of topics funding the Living Labs, the topics have becoming a little bit more prescriptive, in a way that the intention is to cover as much as possible different biogeographical regions and land use types. So this year in 2026, the work program focuses more on the Living Labs, which are placed in forests and natural or semi-natural lands, for what regards the land use types. While the other topic is more focused on the biogeographical regions, so actually regards the enhancement of soil health in the Alpine and Atlantic biogeographical regions. So yes, for 2026, this is the situation.
Thank you.
Thanks. So I believe that we can move on to the next session of and last session of this event. So I hope that our pictures are ready. The first one is so as we mentioned in our in emails. We have added these and filled in this list based on a first come, first served logic. So we have placed the pictures in order of slide reception. So the first to go is Alessia Corami, at Marseille University. Alessia, are you there? I believe she's not, but I saw her that she was connected earlier, so probably she will connect again. So the second one is Karin Pierhofer. Karin, are you there?
I can see the name in the list of attendees.
Yeah. Maybe I can ask him to activate the audio. Otherwise, we will move on to the next one, which is David Golicha. Who is not here. But I believe that I saw Sara Pelaez Sanchez.
Yes, I'm here. I can jump in.
Okay, thanks a lot, Sara.
Can I share my screen or would you like?
No, because in theory we have all your presentations. So just a second, and thanks for your patience. And over to you, Sara. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So good morning, everyone. I'm Sara Pelaez Sanchez from a company named MBA's Climate. We are a Spanish social enterprise, which is specialized in nature-based solutions and rural development. We are here offering our unique expertise and to help you consortia bridge the gap between the high-level scientific soil research and the real-world territorial resilience. So pretty much our approach is to build MBSs with the IUCN global standard, ensuring that soil health interventions are not just technically sound, but socially inclusive and economically bankable. Whether your proposal would target managed forests, semi-natural lands, or the unique challenges of the Atlantic biogeographical region, we offer the certified expertise to ensure your future or current soil living lab succeeds. We are also interested in setting up our own soil living lab in our region. So moving to the objective and the challenges. Our potential proposal will focus on deployment 4 to 5 living labs across the Atlantic axis, specifically designed to meet the requirements of the topic 1 or the topic 2 of the current goals. Our objective is to co-create the soil health practices that serve both the management of the forest and the semi-natural lands, directly aligned with the EU Soil Monitoring and Resilience Directive and the current regulatory frameworks to ensure this high quality. Everything under the umbrella of the IUCN Global Standard for Nature-Based Solutions. We tackle the Valley of the Dead by ensuring that scientifically monitoring supports rather than hinders the economic survival of the local land managers, by focusing on the design of economically viable solutions. So our key activities will focus on the physical hub, which in our case is named Riverine, is an on-site multi-actor engagement facility where we conduct participatory approach, which is essential for us. We don't just identify the regional success of the soil practices, we upscale them into EU-recognized lighthouses by applying the finance for nature expertise. Next slide, please. Thank you. What makes a unique partner for a consortium? So first, we bring the EU policy insider expertise. So members of our team and co-author of several joint research center reports from the European Commission on soil remediation and sustainable land management. We understand how soil works in theory and practice. We are soil ambassadors of the EcoSoil project. This allows us to align the future soil living labs directly with the EU Soil Observatory. And second, we provide the physical infrastructure, so the hub and the meeting point for the social interaction, close to different forest exploitations, farms, and wineries, experimental sites. So we offer that, so the meeting point for the social interaction and the experimentation sites. Our Riverine hub in the northern Spain is a turnkey for rural living labs, ready to host the fosterers, the farmers, the small medium enterprise, the policymakers, and in a collaboration ecosystem. And third, we plan to solve the sustainable requirement of the call through our nature-based enterprise incubation. We don't just run a pilot, we transform it into a self-sustainable social enterprise. And last but not least, we also hold the certification of ILO decent work. So we ensure that the projects are creating fair and justice works. In summary, we offer the scientific rigor of PhD lead team combined with the on-ground agility of a social enterprise. We are looking for partners who are interested in impactful living labs, creating a consortia in managed forest, farms, agricultural land over these Atlantic alpine regions. So just let's connect to turn your technical soil health goals in EU-recognized reality. We work under this premise. Stakeholders' involvement is the key to sustainable soil practices. So I thank you all for your time. I look forward to discussing a consortium or living labs creation with you. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Sarah. And before moving on, I would like to remind everybody that we are going to share these slides with you also. Even the contact details of the teachers will be shared. So feel free to contact them in case you are interested in going forward with the collaboration with them. So the next speaker is Mario Molina Kescher. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Mario,
Yeah,
are you there?
thank you. Yeah, you pronounced it correctly.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mario. Over to you.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Mario, and I'm a climate researcher. I'm working at the Alpen-Adria University in Klagenfurt in southern Austria. And maybe next slide, please. My background is actually from the Earth System Sciences. I am a climate researcher, and in the last 10 years, I've moved to practice regenerative practices on the real world. Let's say I moved back. I stepped back from research and moved into action. Let's say, and I work especially in the field of science communication with different kind of publics. I work a lot with schools, with students at the university, with all kinds of actors in the society, in which I develop regenerative practices such as agroforestry systems, food forest, or water retention systems like contour lines or swales. Some of the topics that Fernando Monroy already explained before. And my focus is especially on creating awareness about the importance of soil and of biodiversity and how it all relates to climate change, to the way we develop our societies in this industrial society and so on. And yeah, I have maybe next slide. What I offer is my expertise on the application of these techniques in public contexts. I'm looking for partners in order to implement this kind of systems in a bigger scale, let's say. I have a big network in the region of Carinthia where I live, from universities to different schools to public programs for climate protection, policymakers and farms that are ready to offer their lands to develop some kind of these projects, such as agroforestry projects. And as I said, my focus is to develop these spaces with the collaboration of the public, let's say in form of workshops, in form of seminars, where we can apply these techniques, where we can plant or establish soils or whatever with the public, such as schools, children, and so on. And I also I can also provide connections in other parts of the world, such as in Senegal or in Mexico. And yeah, I'm looking forward to find some partners here in this platform. You are welcome to reach me, and I'm also on the hub already. So yeah, I would be very happy if some kind of collaboration could be established in this sense. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mario. I noticed that you have not included the final slide with the contact details, but in case you want to share it with us before we share the overall slide deck with all the participants, you can integrate your presentation and send it over.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've already realized that I didn't fill up the last slide, but I've noticed that on the first slide there is my email address.
Okay, perfect. Great. Thanks a lot.
This is enough. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mario. So it's now Razime Demirel who's
Hi,
going
everyone.
Hi, Razime. I hope that I pronounce it correctly.
Congratulations. You are very nice. Thank you.
Over to you.
Thank you very much. Hi everyone. I'm interested with the Living Laboratory for the improving soil health in the natural and semi-natural lands from the Eskişehir Technical University of Turkey. The next slide, please. My main objective for this kind of the project is over the investigation of the soil biodiversity and for determination of the biodiversity structure and the biodiversity indicators and the biodiversity erosion for the continental, boreal, Mediterranean and alpine kind of the regions. In this objective, identification keys for the microbial and fungal indicators for obtain the harmonized protocols. And I would like to try to understand how soil microbiome responds to climatic and endemic conditions by the support with the AI developed AI supported tools and monitoring the frameworks. What is my challenge? My challenge is the limited harmonized biodiversity data sets as for the natural and semi-natural lands, especially what is the situation of the microbiome. It could be quick indicators, and they can be show some ways for the monitoring of the climate, soil health, and the ecosystem dynamics. The main activity of this kind of the project is the soil sampling and the microbiome profiling, real-time data acquisition, though the IoT-based soil and climate sensors. I would like to say these sensors for both microbiome and both environmental conditions. There are more than kind of the sensor systems, and as the sensors, there are the more type of the AI models, and creating the open access European soil health database from the Turkey, and I will show my consortium and scenario and simulation of the conditions. Could you next, please? With the current draft, I can say the current draft of my consortium members. As you see, up to now, there are 8 countries, and this consortium have some laboratory capacity for investigate of the soil microbiome, fungal and microbial diversity, and we also work on the indicator types. And AI team expertise on over the biodiversity detection and the predictive modeling and the simulation of the soil climate indicators. And I have to say simulation and scenario. Engineering team for sensor system and monitoring system and database platform. We already consulted to these objectives, and I would like to be happy if I communicate expertise over the large-scale biogeographical ecosystem indicators and additional sensor and IoT developers and harmonized the soil health monitoring and stakeholder for the Living Lab implement in the device natural and the semi-natural land ecosystems. If you would like to join us, you can keep in contact with me by using my email or the QR codes. I will be happy. Also, I would like to thank the organization. It's very detailed and helpful for me. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. I believe that this presentation was pretty useful, and I'm sure that some of the participants at this event have taken note of this of your contact details.
I hope.
Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
So the next speaker is Anna Espinosa from the
Hello.
Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. Hi, Anna.
Hello. Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
Over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. So I'm senior researcher at the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. We are a research and technology organization located in Luxembourg. And so our expertise is on the regulatory and policy part of polluted sites management. The list, so our institute in general operates in 4 main domains, from environment to material science, space, and IT. But specifically, my group, which is the policy support group, focuses on the regulatory and policies around polluted sites management. But we also have expertise on bioremediation and phytoremediation, and we host very nice facilities for soil analysis, from physical analysis to chemicals, of pollutants, but also microbiological ones. And we are currently working on 2 European projects around polluted sites management. One is the Interreg Europe project, the Naturem, where we are advisory partner. So we can also support the projects that you're going to establish now on the soil mission from the regulatory and policy point of view, but also regarding analysis, soil indicators, and also sampling. But maybe more interesting for the people that are here today, back to the previous one, please. We are coordinating the Urban Soil Living Lab in Luxembourg as part of the SOILL project. So SOILL is one of the projects that was founded last year on the soil mission, and we established 5 living labs to address the soil health issues of urban soils. And we established the first living lab in Luxembourg. So I'm coordinating the living lab in Luxembourg, and we are focused on urban soils, so soil health challenges as pollution, but also compaction, sealing, and loss of biodiversity. So I would be very happy to be involved in another soil mission proposal, maybe to establish another living lab in Luxembourg. And again, I can support with regulatory and policy expertise as well as with experimental sites, but more in the urban and industrial context.
Thanks a lot, Anna. It was really interesting. And I believe that also in this case, many people in the room have taken note of this information. Thank you. So the next speaker is Abel Ojewunmi.
Yeah.
Hi, Abel. I'm sorry for the pronunciation of your surname.
No. You try it. You got it right.
Over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Abel Ojewi, research associate from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria, and in partnership with TSI University, Middlesbrough. So I'm making a presentation of valorization of cassava waste biomass to biochar. Biochar is a carbon-rich material which is obtained through eating in the absence of limited or absence of oxygen. Part of the objective is to valorize cassava peel waste through pyrolysis into biochar, to also evaluate cassava peel biochar as soil amendment for soil fertility improvement, water treatment in Nigeria. We're also working on branding and packaging of biochar in unique, accessible format, which is suitable for broad market across Nigeria. We're also involved in training farmers on biochar production, application, thereby improving the soil health, soil quality, releasing land previously used for waste decomposition, and enhancing water quality. Some of the activity that has been carried out is that I've been able to produce a lab-scale cassava field voucher, and we've carried out the physiochemical properties of soil, cassava peel voucher, and other soil amendments. And currently, I've also established a screenhouse trial at the Department of Soil Resources Management, University of Ibadan, for evaluation of performance of the voucher using okra as a test crop. So we are aiming to look at how voucher improve the fertility of the soil for this particular crop. We have also commenced data collection on key agronomic parameters such as plant height, number of leaves, and other parameters. So as a result, stakeholders' engagement in Nigeria on waste management is in progress. Publicity and awareness creation on voucher utilization via radio station, television shows, and university bulletin. This has been happening concurrently. And cassava, a canvas business model has been developed for voucher marketing in Nigeria. Currently, some of the challenge is that there's a wide gap on the use and adoption of voucher in Nigeria as a soil improvement or soil enhancing material compared to other developed country. And next slide. Some of the expertise or resources that we offer include, as an organization, we have championed the adoption of voucher in combination with organic and inorganic fertilizer for improved soil health in Nigeria, and engaging farmers on the adoption and application of voucher for soil fertility improvements, waste management of agricultural produce to reduce greenhouse emission, pollution, and soil degradation, remediation of contaminated soil with the use of voucher, and water purification, which involve defluorilation using voucher. And our team is a multidisciplinary research team where we have expertise in Nigeria from different backgrounds, soil fertility. As my background is in soil resources management, agronomy, and I also have others team member who are also into environmental science. Those some are also into economic analysis. We have some of these that are joining us from Teesside University in Middlesbrough. So we collaborate. For us, we are open to collaborative research on soil health, agroecology, and organic agriculture. Yeah, for further information, you can contact me via my email address. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Abel. Thanks for your contribution. Okay, let's move on. I would ask the following speakers to keep an eye on their watch as the speakers that have already taken the floor. We are a little bit behind the schedule, but I believe that we can manage. So I would now introduce Wojciech and Agnieszka.
Hello, everybody. I'm Wojciech Bomba. With my wife, we study for long the responses of plants to complex environmental stresses in urban and post-industrial environment, because we live in Silesia, a big conurbation in which live more than 4 million people, which in present undergo a huge transformation for a heavy industrialized region to region of high technology, I think, but near 200 and more years of industry left huge area of poisonous soil and destroy habitats. And we will try in our researcher to renaturalize such area by studying our approach is very holistic. We not study only separate plants, species or vegetation. We also study the soil. And please, next slide. And we provide expertise and resources such as soil, traditional soil analysis, of course, but also very detailed ecophysiological plant analysis like leaf pigment contents. First of all, chlorophyll fluorescence, because we try to use plants as bioindicators of state of ecosystems, and we will able to study chlorophyll fluorescence, which is very sensitive method of detection of different plant stresses. And with use the more sophisticated data analysis, including the artificial intelligence models, we can classify such stress responses. Here you have some examples of such curves, which can be treated like plant AKG, like if you you can compare to the state of the heart in people. Moreover, we can study the different aspects of plant photosynthesis, other aspects of plant photosynthesis, like gas exchange, chlorophyll content, and also stress markers analysis, both in plant and in soil. And of course, Silesia region, as I said, is a big living lab, which give a huge opportunity for study different plants stress responses. We have several objects which can be included in the future projects, and of course we next year we will start the Horizon program Regen Soil, which also will be partly focus on the topics I presented. So this is from my side. If you want, if you are interested in collaboration, I very welcome. So thank you.
Thanks a lot, Wojciech. Really appreciate it. So let's move on to the next speaker, Margherita Palma.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, Margarita.
Hello. So
Hi.
thank you for this opportunity. My name is Margarida Palma from Food for Sustainability, which is a non-profit organization dedicated to sustainable food production and consumption with a strong focus in the transition to sustainable farming practices and in soil health, in particular, the impact of soil microbiome in soil health. Next slide, please. So please click because I would prefer to have the entire slide. Can you move? Yes, and the other one. Yeah. Yes, thank you. So we are an association that stands between academia and the primary sector, and we have a good network of farmers within our association. We are here in the slide. You have some of our expertise and the infrastructures that we offer. We are based in Central Portugal, and this region has a Mediterranean climate. We have a microbiology laboratory called Regenera Lab that is equipped with advanced sequencing and molecular biology tools. And the labs specialize in detecting and characterizing microorganisms across diverse matrices such as water, soil, and plants. This allows us to precisely identify microbial communities and their functional roles in the soil. And by combining this integrated analysis focused on soil chemical, physical, and biological properties, combining this with agronomic expertise, this laboratory provides farmers with personalized insights and recommendations, helping them to improve productivity and adapt to emerging agricultural challenges. Also, we have in the Atlantic coast, we have Ampliaqua, which is an R&D unit dedicated to promoting sustainability and innovation in soilless food production. We have fish and vegetables production and also microalgae cultivation using a multi-trophic recirculating aquaculture system. And here we also are developing tailor-made microbial and non-microbial based biostimulants to increase soil health and plant resilience to abiotic stress. So in this orange box, you have some other things we can offer. So we can participate in studies involving soil biodiversity, soil microbiome, soil functionality. We can offer some farm pilots. As we are Living Lab leaders already, we have this strong alignment with the multi-actor approach. We also work on circularity, control the environmental agriculture, regenerative agriculture, and bio-based solutions for agriculture. So next slide, please. Yes, thank you. So we are interested in the calls for Horizon mission soil. Here we don't have the Living Labs, sorry for this, but we are of course interested in the Living Labs and to be part of another Living Lab. The one that interests us the most is the Living Lab to enhance soil health in managed forests and in natural, semi-natural lands. So as we already have this expertise of being a Living Lab leader, we can also offer this expertise to this call. So we can work in this call and in the other calls that are here for the Horizon Mission Soil, where we can work in the development of soil methods and protocols, soil health data collection and monitoring. We can make the connection with landowners, develop some pilots, work on soil biodiversity, also include here the multi-actor participatory actions and also capacity building, because we are also very involved in delivering schools, workshops, webinars, and everything that relates to knowledge dissemination. So I think that's it. Next slide, please. And if you want to reach out, please contact me. I'm available to enter in proposals related to the topics I just mentioned. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Margarita. Thank you. Thanks a lot. It was really interesting to know more about your organization.
Thank you.
So the next speaker is Cristiana Gardichiotti.
Yes, thank you very much.
Hi, Cristiana. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see everybody. A wealth of information. I am the ambassador of the Thirea Living Lab. Next slide, please. The objectives, we would like to make our region, Thirea, a place for solutions. So I'm inviting each and every one of you to join us into fertile dialogues. The challenge is to make this working. Regenerational is relational. Therefore, we would like to actually engage successfully multiple stakeholders in fertile dialogues and to engage most local co-op farmers to adopt regenerative soil practices, and at the end to transfer this knowledge to as many other farmers and communities nationwide. Our main activities is focused on making Thirea Living Lab sustainable via the bioeconomy and the living soil of Doliana hubs. Next slide, please. The expertise and resources offered, just 1 second, please. I would like to introduce the Soil Water Research Institute and Dr. Vasilios Askhonitis, that they are conducting research in sustainable management and treatment of soil and water resources. And Dr. Vesela Tanaskovic, that is running the A Forest for Future, transforming deserts into food forests. Community weaving is what we do as Thirea Living Lab. Relational capital is another expertise, especially for the living soil in the Doliana Hub. We do hands-on field workshops and we knowledge transfer on governance and business models for living labs and farmer activation. Next slide, please. I would like to say that we are part of the Government for All project, and these are the people. Please contact me if you need activated farmers. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Cristiana. Again, it's really nice to see that also already established living labs are participating in this event and wants to connect with prospective applicants wishing to establish their own living lab. I believe that there is a significant ground for connections. So I hope you the best of fortune. The next speaker is Arkady Levin.
Yes.
Arkady, are you there?
Yes, you see can you see me and listen?
Yes, over to you.
Nice. Thank you, Gabriele. My name is Arkady Levin, and I represent the National Scientific Center Institute for Soil Science and Agrochemistry Research, named after Sokolovsky. Our institute is in Kharkiv, Ukraine. And my task in the institute is the coordination of an international activity of the institute. The main objective of our proposal, this proposal, is the implementation of the pilot project of the first Ukrainian living laboratory, Living Lab, for post-war soil restoration on the basis of Chkalovska settlement territorial community, with the support of our institute, NSC-SR. The main challenges of our current situation in Ukraine is to accelerate post-war soil restoration on the agricultural lands and implementation of soil sustainable management in Chkalovska community. This is a pilot project, and we expect that the results of this project will be used in another region of Ukraine. The main activities of Soil Living Lab, our Soil Living Lab, is the implementation of local soil monitoring system in this Chkalovska community, establishment the soil information system in this community as a component of laboratory and with the support of our institute. The next task is the development of recommendation and educational and informational materials on accelerated post-war soil rehabilitation for another stakeholders from different community in Kharkiv region or in another region of Ukraine. And the last task is the dissemination of community experience in post-war accelerated decontamination and soil rehabilitation. Please, next slide. Next slide, please. What we have now? Chkalovska Settlement Territorial Community and our institute in 2024 signed an open memorandum on the establishment of Living Soil Laboratory for accelerated post-war soil restoration. The main goal of this memorandum is to accelerate post-war soil survey and restoration on agricultural lands of community. And we need to improve soil health and its ecological and productive functions to ensure sustainable use of community land resources in the interests of all its residents. Chkalovska community is soil laboratory will became a platform for sharing best practice, a base for training and simulating the introduction of the innovative technologies for surveying, rehabilitation, and monitoring of war-damaged soil in Kharkiv Oblast. The project of creating of Chkalovska Living Soil Lab needs methodical, technical, and financial support from any Horizon project or from another maybe stakeholders. Next slide, please. Thank you for attention, and my contact you can see on this slide, and also you can see the web page of our institute. If you're interested in, we can to be in contact and discuss the perspective collaboration, maybe in this project or maybe in another project of soil for improving on soil health. Thank you for attention.
Thanks a lot, Arkady. We were really happy to have you and glad to include you in the list of features. Thanks a lot for sending your presentation over.
Thank you.
So we are approaching the end of our event, but before moving on, I'm aware that one of the first features is available again for presenting. Karin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Nice to have you. Just give me a second, so I have to stop my sharing and sharing it again. Just give me a second. I'm sorry for this inconvenience.
Yeah, I'm sorry for missing my slot.
No, it's okay, no problem. No problem. So, Karin, you were the third one. Or the second? Second. Yes. Okay. I'm sharing again. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. Over to you, Karin.
Yeah, thanks, Gabriele, for letting me speak here and giving me the opportunity to share our work at the Weltacker Berlin. We are an organization who does education on the global agricultural system, global food system. I'm an environmental educator and project coordinator here, especially focusing on soil and soil biodiversity. And I have a background in research for many years, research on soil, plant interaction, always in agricultural perspectives. So please, next slide. Our objectives are to increase awareness of the state of the soil, especially of soil biodiversity and its relation to agriculture and the food system, and to disseminate and communicate the importance of sustainable soil management practices for human health, so which are the solutions of many problems that we have in the world. The challenges are when you work with soil, people, citizens, they see it as dirt, so not very interesting often. But we have methods. We have developed methods to make it interesting and to make people see that it's important to do something, to change something. Our main activities are to co-create interactive education material and workshop outlines on sustainable management practices for school classes, young people, adults, so people all ages, all diversities. We do carry out workshops on sustainable management practices and also on all agricultural topics, on food system topics for school classes, young people and adults. And we co-create ways to communicate sustainable soil management practices and, as I mentioned earlier, all agricultural and food system topics with artists. So yeah, please next slide, because there you will see on our expertise that we disseminate and communicate about different agricultural topics. And as I said earlier, my focus is on soil, especially soil biodiversity, which is especially in communication, dissemination work, very rudimentary to my opinion. This year in Berlin, in Germany. And we also try to collaborate with artists to reach a greater audience. And you see on the slide one example, our mobile research lab, a 4-meter diameter tent, which can be transported from one place to another, move from one school to another, and communicate different soil biodiversity topics to people. And it's sprayed painted by an artist. And I also work with a sound designer where we develop audio plays about soil biodiversity and relations to climate, to agriculture. So the participants really engage with the topic and put themselves in the role of a soil organisms. How does it feel and how is it when the soil is very compacted? So trying really to put these important topics out to the people. So we in a EU Horizon project, we, as you understand, I guess we would take the communication dissemination part. And what resources do we have? We have here in Berlin, we have 2,000 square meter plots to do agricultural education, as I mentioned earlier, but not just education. There would be also the possibility to do social research on our work. How do we reach the people? How many do we reach? But also down to the ground, physical research, like setting up experiments on our sites, and maybe also experiments that can at the same time be open for the public, and maybe also include the public in citizen science projects. Yes, so we have contacts to schools, we have contacts to citizens, and last but not least, we have a big network of Weltäcker, not only in Europe, but worldwide, because our Weltäcker, in English, we call them global fields. We increase almost daily. Now we are 40 Weltäcker global fields worldwide, many in Germany, as it started in Germany, but we now have also in Ethiopia, Kenya, in China, in Brazil. So in the US, it's one is setting up. So we have a huge network, which can be really a resource for EU Horizon project. Yes, next slide. Please contact me on email, and if you are looking for this kind of partner, and we can find out ways to collaborate and develop a project. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present our work here.
Thanks a lot, Karin. It was really, really interesting. And actually, I believe that you have a message in the chat. So I believe that you will probably be contacted very soon. So it's really great to see these type of interactions among the participants. It's 12:30, at least here at Central European time zone. And we are approaching the end of our event. I would like to thank all the participants, especially those who stayed with us until the end of the event. I know that it was pretty long, and it's not easy to find 2 hours and a half to stay on an event, even if it's online. I would like to thank the teachers who actually gave a very interesting presentation during the session. And I believe that you will soon be contacted by our other participants. And my heartfelt thank to the other speakers of this event, Giampiero Petruziello, Fernando Monroy, Nicolaos Tomasis, and Kinga Sepielak. Worked really hard to organize this event, and also those colleagues working behind the scenes, such as Nicole De Sanctis, who took care of the chat and the interaction with the participants. I would really like to invite you all to use all the resources SOILL-Stepup put online and made available for you all, from the Soil Hub to the list of mentors, the help desk, and stay connected with us through our newsletter and social media channels, especially LinkedIn, because we are going to organize new events, new initiatives, consultations with you all, and we do hope to provide useful tips to go through this proposal preparation process. So thanks again, everybody, and I wish you a lovely rest of the day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye
Bye.
bye.